Shalom. I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Give honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And title of this lesson is Make Bright the Arrows. This is an article I found in the Washington Post, which says the global nuclear arsenal expected to grow for the first time since the Cold War. It's a vehicle transports a nuclear missile during Victory Day rehearsal. This was the article is June 13th, 2022, but this picture is from 2020. And I'm going to just get right into it. The world's nuclear arsenal is set to increase over the next decade as states modernize weapons stockpiles and sharpen the role nuclear weapons play in their military strategies. An arms research group said in a report this week. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute released on Monday its annual overview of international security and global arms production, warning that the post-Cold War decline in nuclear arsenals appeared to be ending. The risk of nuclear weapons being used seem higher now than at any time since the height of the Cold War. Director Dan Smith said in a statement, despite what he described as significant gains in nuclear arms control and disarmament over the past year. All right, and that's really not, at least to my eyes, not true, because you have during the Cold War, you had a lot of other countries that were outside of besides Russia and the United States, which were the primary superpowers. They had problems even getting nuclear reactors. All right, and if they tried to get any kind of I guess that's what they call uranium or things of that nature, they would get sanctions put on them hard. All right, and they would get inspections. All right, if they did have nuclear reactors, they would get inspections from the UN. All right, at that particular time during the first Cold War, nobody really had too much nuclear armament besides Russia, and the U.S. had the most. But behind them, there were very far few in between that had a stockpile of nuclear weapons. Now, you know, that technology has increased in these latter days because that's prophecy. That's pursuing the prophecy, which I titled this video after Jeremiah 51:11, which I'm gonna get. But yeah, those particular countries, they were prevented from getting uranium, which is a key component in the nuclear weapons and the nuclear reactors. They were pretty much disallowed from having much of that technology, but that's past. This is 2020, and a majority of these countries, these European countries, and a lot of these Middle Eastern countries, particularly Iran and probably other countries in the Middle East, have nuclear weapons now. And North Korea, China, all right, they have an arsenal of nuclear weapons. All right, but let me finish. All of the world's nuclear armed states are increasing or upgrading their arsenal in the most sharpening nuclear rhetoric and the role nuclear weapons play in their military strategy, said Wilfred Wand, director of the Institute's Weapons of Mass Destruction program. This is a worrying trend. And just earlier, there was coming out from the Pentagon, Biden signed a $1 billion military aid package to Ukraine, which in turn Russia basically said, if you keep sending aid to Ukraine, they're going to pretty much come after this particular country, Babylon the Great, which, like I said, is prophecy. All right, because at this point this is not going to stop. It's just going to heat up even more, and which is good. All right, and matter of fact, let me get into some scriptures. I'm not going to let the scriptures speak. So I bookmarked some of this. Let's go to matter of fact, let's go here. All right, this is Jeremiah 51:11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Adawan have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Adawan, the vengeance of his temple. All right. And he's going to destroy this wicked place, man. All right, this blasphemous kingdom, this last kingdom, and his kingdom is going to be set up, which is never going to end. All right, his kingdom is never going to end. But let's go into some words real quick. All right, make bright. All right, to purify, select, polish, choose, purge, cleanse, or make bright, test or prove, and that's what they're doing. A lot of countries like China and North Korea have been testing building upon the technology that they've already established. And one of the brothers at camp pretty much said, 15 minutes. The hypersonic missiles can get here in like 15 minutes. So they're purifying, they're purifying, and they're polishing. And when you're polishing something, you pretty much after you polish it, it's almost like once you're done, you're polishing it, and you want to make it look good, and you're pretty much finished, man. All right, and it's like if you polish your car or anything, you want to show it off, and that's what these nations are doing. All right, they're flexing their military might in these latter days. All right, because they're tired of this place, they're tired of the oppression and the sanctions that's been put on them for years. And it says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. All right, let's go into that earlier. I think I went there earlier, shields. All right. And I went further into it to domineer, exercise power over, dominate, have mastery. All right, be master. All right. And then lord it over. All right. And that's what they're using their weapons to exercise power. All right. The spirit of the king of the Medes. All right. For against Babylon, his devices to destroy the root of Medes. Medes, Mediah, Middle Land. All right. People descended from the son of Japheth, who inhabited the territory of Media. All right. Which is modern day Russia. All right. And I was just looking at some earlier. When they described the Media-Persia Empire at that time, they called it a bear. All right, and if you go into, and this don't have to be applied to it, but there's nothing of coincidence when you go into on Wikipedia. The Russian bear is a widespread symbol, generally a Eurasian brown bear for Russia, and in cartoons and articles and dramatic plays since the early 16th century. All right, and you can read more of that. All right, on occasion it was simply implied big, brutal, and clumsy. All right, and Ronald Reagan, he called in '94 during the first arms Cold War, the arms race. He called this a bears in the wood, and recognized the existence of the Soviet threat. All right, and I can't find it, but it also describes a bear as powerful and cunning. All right, so that's no coincidence that they use that as their symbol. Right? That how it relates to prophecy. All right, let's go back in the scripture. Isaiah 13:4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Adawan of hosts mustered the host of the battle. All right. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Adawan, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. All right. So he's raising these nations up to come together and destroy Babylon the Great. All right. This is Job 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. And let the weak say, I am strong. And I'm gonna say this: the spirit of God is in the air everywhere, not just on an international level, but even on a local level, where people are even stockpiling weapons and things of that nature. You can clearly see that the atmosphere has pretty much changed. All right, as far as what the way of life and how things used to be, and it ain't going back. It ain't going back at all. This is Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battles in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Because this particular nation, how is it a hammer? All right, a hammer breaks other things into pieces, but they themselves are broken. All right, they become weak. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken. Babylon, O Babylon, and thou was not aware, and thou art found and was caught, because thou hast striven against the Adawan. All right, and a lot of these nations, this particular nation was the proudest. All right, and most perverted. The Adawan have opened his armory and have brought forth weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord thy power of hosts in the land of Chaldeans. Right. So he's opened his armory. All right, and he has many things in his armory. All right, which the brothers be always breaking out. He can use any and everything that he wants to use, when he wants to use it, and how he wants to use it. All right. Let's go into but we ain't got nothing to worry about. We who are in this truth know that he's fighting for us. All right, and 2 Corinthians 10:3 says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty to the pulling down of strongholds. And they be talking about the mind sometimes, but technically we can apply that to this, because we pray, we send up prayers, man, and our prayers get answered according to his will. All right, and what is his will? All right, in the scriptures it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." All right, on earth as it is in heaven. So if his kingdom is coming, all right, then that means one kingdom has to leave. All right, so we pray, we send up prayers, and this place, hey man, this place gets thrown down. Matter of fact, let me see something. This is Sirach 35:17. The prayer of the humble pierces the clouds till it come nigh. He will not be comforted and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. All right. For the Adawan will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward him, till he have smitten asunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of unrighteousness. So he's going to take down all the heads of these particular nations, man. All right. He's going to take down the heads of these nations, and he's going to set up his kingdom in the latter days. And we're here in that particular time where we're getting a front row seat as to what's going on. All right. This is Isaiah 31:3. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Adawan stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that open shall fall down, and they shall all fall together. And you will have a lot of people that's going to run when things get worse to their politicians and leaders who have been nothing but puppets anyway. All right, and they're gonna fall with them. A lot of people are gonna go for the M to the T to the O to the B. You know, they're gonna hop on that tip. All right, not knowing what's going on. All right. So, hey, no matter how much these weapons, everything was set up through the spirit, man. And we're to stay in the spirit, man, and pray to Yahweh, who's our Savior, meaning He who saves. All right. Let's see some. Maybe I think it's one more. This is Revelation Revelations 8:1. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was a silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw that 7 angels which stood before the Most High, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he shall offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar, which is before the throne. All right, so our prayers pierce the clouds, man. All right, it goes up. All right, and our petitions according to his will get answered. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before the Most High out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer, filled it with the fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth, where there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. All right, and the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up, and the same thing, so forth. Great mountain burning with fire. All right. So the Lord has petitioned all these things according to the prayers of the saints, man. All right. And he's defending us on. He's defending us, man. All right. And we almost out of here soon. All right. And so we have to keep watching and then remain faithful, man. And to tough these things out as things get worse in these times, man. All right. And to keep the faith. You know, keep the faith of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, so I pray that you identify with this lesson, and with that, I would like to say shalom.